Satya Bhaavni Part 1, written by Sadhu Sadanand, English translation by Megha Sharma, narrated by Alisha Tharyan. Sadhguru says, O seeker, if you are determined and persistent in your spiritual journey, then that moment is but inevitable when your mind, intellect, ego shall no longer be able to hold you in their bondage. You shall break free and realize the true nature of your divine self within. That is the very moment, O traveler of the spiritual realm, when you shall eventually awaken from the worldly slumber that you have been in since many lifetimes and begin your journey to realize the Absolute. O seeker, post a real experience of the taste of true liberation, the world and its worldly attachments begin to fall away. That is, the seeker continues to live in this world, but the worldly entrapments like attachments, ego, and illusions no longer thrive in him. He doesn't externally renounce the world, but renounces it inwardly along with its worldliness. He stays detached, transcending all worldly definitions of virtues and vices, knowledge or ignorance. His bonds of karma too begin to fall away, and so do all dogmatic rituals. Detached and firm, the seeker firmly sets forth on his spiritual journey within. Once the seeker awakens from his worldly slumber that he had been slumbering in since countless lifetimes, detachment from the world sets in him. The worldly attachments and illusions no longer excite him or hold him in their bondage. He continues to do his work, but with detachment to the outcome and with the realization that all worldly achievements are unreal and temporary. At this milestone of his spiritual journey, the speaker begins to comprehend the infinite existence of the indivisible bliss absolute that we know of as Paramatma. Under the grace and guidance of Sadhguru, he continues to move towards discovering his true divine self. If the determination to find Paramatma is firm and his faith in Sadhguru unconditional and unshakable, then his attainment of God consciousness is but certain and inevitable. Along the journey, Paramatma absolves all the negative attributes of the seeker. Under the grace and guidance of Sadhguru, he continues to move forward in his spiritual journey. Unconditional service, grace of Sadhguru, along with reflection and meditation on the divine, lead him to eventually merge with the divine consciousness. Spirituality does not mean running away from the world. A seeker may continue to fulfill all his worldly duties, but with an attitude of a non-doer, with non-attachment to worldly riches, honor, and sensual pleasures. True renunciation is not external but internal. The mind renounces everything in the feet of God, but the physical body may carry out its obligations with detachment. He is far removed from passion or dispassion or from the rewards or outcomes of his actions. While the world is a part of him, he is no longer a part of its worldliness. Post his transcendence from the worldly attachments, the darkness of ignorance starts getting dispelled and he moves forward towards divine realization. The course of determined and consistent spiritual practice Slowly, the mind intellect ceases to interfere with the seeker's reflection
and meditation on the divine within. This detachment with the world leads to true renunciation and eventually divine realization.
The seeker must remember that the world with its materialistic ambitions is a web spun by the mind-ego intellect. Whether he be the owner of a palace with all its riches or that of a hutman, neither would be of any use to anyone in the real analysis. No amount of wealth, fortune, or luxury can lead to permanent bliss. This attachment to material is but an illusion that can never be the source of permanent bliss. One who is focused on his spiritual journey inwards and determinedly and patiently holds steadfast within stays undisturbed and unprovoked by the world outside. Such a spiritual traveler will surely be able to transcend the whirlpools of this ocean of worldly material existence to attain the zenith of absolute existence bliss. Man's physical body is but a temporary abode. It is momentary and destructible. What is not destructible, however, is the experience of the divine consciousness within. It is the only wealth that even death cannot take away from the seeker and which continues to enrich the seeker across lifetimes. It is the ultimate achievement beyond which no other achievement matters. Hence, O seeker, Sadhguru says that you must not let go this opportunity and this lifetime in frivolous worldly pursuits. Under the grace and guidance of Sadhguru, may you hone and purify your spiritual qualities and discover your true spiritual path towards realizing the divine within. The spiritual path is not easy. The journey may throw up numerous challenges and obstacles, testing your determination and desire. However, not only will your firm determination and single-minded devotion sail you across all difficulties, but will also guide others on their way towards the divine. Your determined desire to realize the divine within will not only surprise others but also motivate them. Patient determination is of utmost importance in the spiritual journey. Hence, O seeker, do not allow yourself to deter from your path, for only those who persist with commitment and devotion can hope to cut through the trappings of attachments and worldly illusions. Strive and be so courageous and committed that the ultimate zenith of absolute realization be yours eventually. Man has been stuck in the vicious cycle of karma since endless lifetimes. His karma from his previous lifetime barely get over when he adds on to the burden with his new karma and hence remains stuck in the cycle of life and death. The materialistic world calls upon you to go on striving and hoard instruments of wealth and comfort, but these very instruments of materialism prevent your karma from reducing. On the contrary, more actions lead to more karma and hence more consequences. Hence, O seeker, let go the burden and liberate yourself. Don't get so attached to this material world and its attractions that you are no longer able to extradite yourself from the load. Carry out your responsibilities with an attitude of a non-doer. The real wealth lies within in the form of divine consciousness and wisdom. Strive to discover your real divine self, for that is the only wealth worth acquiring.